This is going to be my community interactions video, part 2. We left off in the other video talking about predator-prey relationships or parasite-host relationships and the way that prey can defend themselves from predators. Now, of course, predators will frequently adapt a way to get around defenses or mimicries that prey have developed to avoid them. And this gets us into the Red Queen hypothesis. This is from Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. Alice chases the Red Queen and finds that neither one of them seem to be moving anywhere. When they stop running, they end up in the exact same place that they started. And the Red Queen says, "Now here you see it takes all the running you can do to keep in the same place." And this applies to coevolution. Two organisms must continue to change. If they change at the exact same rate, they stay in the same place evolutionarily. They have the exact same relationship they did before. If one fails to change or one sort of outruns the other, it can result in the extinction of one of the organisms. Coevolution is the back and forth evolutionary adjustments between interacting members of a community. They evolve together. A symbiosis is where two or more species live together in a close, long-term association, and mutualism is going to be a type of symbiosis where both species participating in this association benefit. For example, cleaner shrimp, they get food, and for example, this eel gets its mouth cleaned, which is good for the eel. Insects and flowers. The insects, again, get food. The flower gets to be pollinated. Commensalism is another symbiosis. One species benefits and another species is neither harmed nor helped. So, for example, birds that nest in a tree, the birds are helped, the tree doesn't care. Epiphytes are a plant that grows non-parasitically upon another plant. So it is not taking any resources from that plant, it is just living on the plant. So one benefits, one is neither harmed nor helped. Competition is where two species that use the same resource have to compete for access to that resource. So this resource and this competition might be over food, water, nesting sites, living space, or light when it might come to plants. This type of interaction has a negative effect on both species. Competition occurs for resources that are in short supply, which makes sense. If there was plenty of everything, nobody would need to compete. A lot of competition does not involve fighting necessarily, but is just shown by a relative abundance of resources, where one organism just happens to get more of something than another does. A niche, or niche, is the functional role of a particular species in an organism. It includes an organism's habitat, what it eats, what eats that organism, and things it does during the day and night. So it is literally its entire role in an ecosystem. And the competitive exclusion principle states that two species cannot live in the same niche. There will be too much competition if they exhibit the exact same role and share literally everything. They live in the same place, they eat the exact same food, they do the exact same things all of the time. There will be too much competition, and eventually something will have to change such that the two species are no longer occupying the same niche, whether that means they then have different food sources or they live different places or something like that. So we've mostly talked about interspecific interactions, which I should really cross this top part off. This last bit is about intraspecific competition. The main type of that we're going to discuss is competition among others for the same species for a resource. The big one is mates, so competition for a mate, competition for land, and of course competition for hierarchy.